Hello, welcome back to a very segmented breaking news episode of Hail to the Deadites. Today is March 15th. It's the Ides of March, and
there is no acting necessary when that happens because you go. It sounds like perfect. Print it. And so there's so many. We learned some good techniques. The cup in the face works all the time. If you want a little finesse, though, a paintbrush, a 4-inch paintbrush in a little bucket, you can go. And create a slash across somebody's face. Lots of ways to do it.
I poured a whole bucket over Lee's head on the last day of shooting.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
I know you didn't.
I don't want to do that again. Well, I see 000. We want to thank.
beautiful there. And then this morning, before that, Lee Cronin posted the view from his hotel window with this big building, probably an apartment building or a skyscraper or something, and he said, a rather apt view from my hotel as dawn breaks in Austin on Evil Dead Rise premiere day, which is just so cool. It's so cool. So as I said in yesterday's video, there's a panel today with Bruce, Sam, Rob, Alyssa, and Lily on Evil Dead Rise. This quote is from Haunted Meg, who is a content creator for Bloody Disgusting. And she says that Lily Sullivan says she drew from Lori Petty's Tank Girl and Toni Collette in Hereditary for her performance in Evil Dead Rise. And Alyssa Sutherland pulled from The Mask for her Deadite turn, when asked about their influences at the South by Southwest panel. She says, it's also worth noting that this entertaining bunch has a gong on stage and uses it to shame anyone who breaks question rules. So, Sam Raimi said something about Bruce Campbell and then said, gong his ass. And then Bruce revealed that he once got a note from Stars while filming Ash vs. Evil Dead that he was holding the shotgun incorrectly. Lee Cronin recommends seeing Evil Dead Rise 3 times on opening weekend to catch all the Easter eggs, which is very exciting. And then a video called Raimi Heart's Dad Jokes.
Audience likes to see Bruce punished. Why do you think they call him Bruce?
They gonged him. They gonged our boy. That's perfect. At Liza Channa on Twitter has also put a cheese grater on the red carpet at South by Southwest, which is something so niche that I absolutely love, because I'm sure the people around her had sort of no idea what she was doing, but Evil Dead fans would be like, they're really pushing this cheese grater stuff, man. They're really, really, really pushing it. Stabloid News, and I don't know how credible this is, but they say keep your eyes peeled for a new Evil Dead Rise trailer today. Mid-March madness, can't wait. So there might be a trailer drop at some point that I'm going to react to in the next 5 hours, or maybe after the movie or something. Entertainment Weekly also did an article on the movie and dropped some new stills. So there's a still of Beth with one of Ellie's kids, a shot of Ellie being all possessed and stuff, one of the shots that we've seen in the trailer already, and then a shot of Lee Cronin directing. Very cool looking. Also in that Entertainment Weekly article, it says that they used about 6,500 liters of fake blood. It's also being called a punk rock opera dripping in blood. So cool. Oh, it's so exciting. I'll link this article down in the description because I'm not going to read the whole article out in this video. So this is another quote from Haunted Meg on Twitter. This is being updated live as the panel's happening, so there's going to be stuff that pops up from this. Bruce Campbell said, I wouldn't call Evil Dead Rise a laugh fest, and Cronin replied, unless you don't like kids. So I think they're really going to go for it and just kill the kids in the movie, which is going to be nuts. That's going to be crazy. I can't believe they're going to do that. So I've just got a couple more tweets here to share. I figured it wasn't worth getting the camera all set up to do because I'm just going to be showing you the tweets anyways. There was another little video from the panel posted. It's Bruce Campbell having a very brief discussion about the Ash versus Freddy versus Jason movie.
Fight Freddy and Jason, and I was like, perfect. Now we can kill both of those fuckers. And that's what they said. They gonged that idea because they went, oh, you can't kill him. Sorry. You can grind Jason's face off with a boat propeller, and his eyes will open before the end credits roll. You can't kill him. So that it was a creatively bankrupt concept. So,
And then the panel wrapped up with a discussion on how unpleasant it is to taste fake blood, the different flavors, and Lily Sullivan dumping a whole bucket of it on Lee Cronin the final day of shooting. Also popping up from my favorite Twitter account in the world, Sam Raimi Updates. I think this is another quote from the Entertainment Weekly article. It says, Lee Cronin says, blood is a main character in Evil Dead Rise. He says, I want it to be able to behave and flow the way I want it to move. I want it to rise a certain way. I want it to have a certain viscosity. That shit was sticky icky. If it got on your skin, you lost your hair. So another quote from the Entertainment Weekly article from Lee Cronin says that everyone went to a week-long Evil Dead boot camp for Evil Dead Rise. It was kind of specialized for everybody. So little Nell, for example, it was literally getting her to be as tough as she could be and practicing taking certain falls and hits. For Lily, there were elements around how to understand how to use a shotgun, but then also be able to pick that apart and use it in a way of unfamiliarity. We'd work a lot on techniques of unfamiliarity. Lee Cronin on his take of the Evil Dead franchise. I needed to tell a story on my own terms. As much as I loved the movies, had they just handed me a script with a cabin in the woods, I probably would have said, I can't wait to see it in the cinema, but it's not for me. But they wanted something new. They wanted something fresh. They knew it was time for a different direction. Thankfully, it all kind of came together. So first off, there's going to be the same interview in the new Empire magazine issue on Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, but they've got a lot about Evil Dead in it. Anyways, so it's an article about how Sam Raimi initially hated the title Evil Dead, and he says, how can something be evil and dead? And it just sort of talks about naming the original and stuff. It doesn't have anything to do with Evil Dead Rise, but I thought I would let you guys know anyway. There's going to be a whole section of Evil Dead stuff in that issue of the magazine, so it's probably worth picking up if you're an Evil Dead fan. I know I will be scouting it out. So next up, and I don't know about the credibility of this, but there's an account called The Evil Dead Historian at The Darkverse 7, who's been posting a lot of facts, and I don't know what the credible sources are. He doesn't really say his source or anything, or say anything in the replies, like no one really asks questions. But he says, hashtag Evil Dead Rise will use Army of Darkness mythology. And since the lore, canon, and mythology of The Evil Dead 1981 is one utterly different, we confirm again that the OG is unalterably the only official canon film and obviously unrelated to everything else. I sort of suspected that from the beginning. Sort of since they released the synopsis for Evil Dead Rise, my sort of suspicion was that it was going to be tied somehow to Army of Darkness, because Ash is in that room with all the different Necronomicons, so it doesn't surprise me that it might be a Necronomicon from there that popped up in some random city in New York. I don't know, it seems plausible that that rift in time and stuff, it would have just popped up somewhere else. So Fangoria did an interview with Bruce Campbell, Sam Raimi, and Rob Tappert before their premiere tonight, and I'm guessing probably before the panel that they did today. He said he'd star in another Evil Dead movie under one condition. They ask the crew about the Evil Dead 2013 reboot and just sort of their take on it and if it's a remake or not. And Rob Tappert said, in Fede's mind, if you ask him, he did a remake, even though there's an incongruity there of the replica of the old Oldsmobile Delta 88 covered in leaves at that cabin. So it's a bit confusing. But what we want to do is bring back Bruce and Jane Levy from the 13 movie and tie it in with this movie, Rise, and have the beginning of the ultimate showdown, but Bruce is standing in the way. But then Bruce says, I'll go on record here, these guys don't scare me. I worked on Xena, so nothing scares me. If Sam says, I, Sam Raimi, will direct another Evil Dead movie, then I, Bruce Campbell, will consider being in it. I don't want to be Ash, tended to by other people. Sam's the meanest director I've ever worked with, and Ash needs a little bit of that to shine. And I think Sam's the only director now who I won't punch in the face making an Evil Dead movie. I'm just saying I've called Rob and Sam out. I'm not the coward they think I am. I just want the right circumstances. Because Sam, even though he's done studio movies, he's still a good director. So I want Sam. I'll do it for Sam. Which is, like, fun. Honestly, I don't think we'd ever get another Sam Raimi directed Evil Dead movie, unfortunately, even though that'd be a complete dream. And this mashup they're talking about sounds really awesome. Yeah, I think it'd be really awesome to see someday. However, I think the probability of it ever happening is probably very, very, very low. But it's nice to have that on record, that Bruce said if Sam does do another Evil Dead movie, we will probably see Bruce Campbell in it somewhere. He says he doesn't want to be Ash, so maybe he'll play someone else. I don't know, but that'd be really cool. So earlier in this, I talked about how South by Southwest, you could get like a digital pass, but you had to pay like sort of like the lump sum for the ticket. You couldn't pay for individual sessions. Well, I was doing some digging on the internet right after the panel ended to see if anyone had uploaded any clips or maybe the full panel onto YouTube so I could download it and have it forever. But if you go to the South by Southwest YouTube page, tomorrow, March 16th, they're doing a thing called South by Southwest Live. And right off the bat, it's Sam, Lee Cronin, and the Evil Dead Rise cast in the South by Southwest studios. Maybe it'll just be an interview. It might be clips from the panel they did yesterday. It doesn't really say. You'll be able to catch some of it live tomorrow, which is super exciting for me because I really want to hear what they say. Speaking of South by Southwest, they posted this really nice graphic of a quote Alyssa Sutherland had from the panel that says, "There has to be rage, but also the joy and the celebration of carnage," which I think sums up the Evil Dead movies and like sort of all horror movies really well. And then finally, for this little the screening ends. It's 8:41 right now, so in like 25 minutes, the first screening of Evil Dead Rise lets out. But here's another clip from the panel. It's just Bruce talking about fake blood and stuff. This is at the very end, so you get to hear them sort of wrapping up the panel. But anyways, it's from Twitter user Fallout Brick.
And there is no acting necessary when that happened, because you go, it sounds like perfect. Credit. And so there's so many, we learned some good techniques. The cup in the face works all the time. If you want a little finesse though, a paintbrush, a 4-inch paintbrush in a little bucket, you can go, and create a slash across somebody's face. Lots of ways to do it.
I poured a whole bucket over Lee's head on the last day of shooting.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
I know you didn't.
I don't want to do that again. Well, I see 000. We want to thank...
Recording. So it turns out I'm Boo-Boo the damn fool. Time zones are complicated, and so I thought yesterday when I looked up the difference between the time in Texas and the time in Nova Scotia, Texas was 2 hours ahead, so I thought the movie was going to be done at like 9:06 my time, but it turns out it's only 7:08 in Texas and it's 9:12 here. So the movie's not actually going to premiere till like 11 p.m. my time, meaning that it's not going to end until 1 in the morning, and I have to go to work tomorrow and also get this video out. So there's going to be a breaking news video in the morning. I'm committing myself to this. I'm going to get up super early and do this video and cover everything and have it out to you tomorrow morning. That is my commitment as Boo-Boo the Fool. I didn't even have my ring light on. That's how abrupt I just realized this and immediately needed to start recording and share with you guys that there's no actual coverage of the movie in this video. That will be in a video tomorrow morning. So I'm very sorry. But if you enjoyed this sort of press day from my bedroom coverage, let me know what your favorite part of the day was. Like your favorite interview or clip from the panel. And I will share with you mine in the comments. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you bright and early tomorrow morning for a quick little read through of the very first reviews of Evil Dead Rise. So, sweet dreams. Don't let the Deadites bite, and stay groovy. I feel like I'm on Good Morning America because of how early it is. It is 6:59. I got up at 6 so I could look a little camera presentable. I showered, put on my sweater I was wearing yesterday, and put my Necronomicon earrings in so that I would look a little more presentable. I was thinking about just doing it as soon as I rolled out of bed, but I figured I would get ready a little bit. I'm also still drinking my coffee. Evil Dead Rise premiered last night at South by Southwest. I can't believe there are people in this world who have seen Evil Dead Rise, and I am not one of them. So anyways, I haven't looked at social media yet today, so let's look at this together. We're gonna go check out #1 account on Twitter, Sam Raimi Updates, for some tweets. So this first one says, the Evil Dead Rise reviews are in, and they're calling it the most serious and violent of the entire franchise. Once it starts, it keeps going. A 96-minute runtime of violence, continuing with the same tone of the 2013 one. I knew it was going to be like the 2013 one. I knew it. This one's from Eric Vespe, or Vesp, I don't know how to pronounce it. He says, Evil Dead Rise is rad. The tone falls somewhere between the 2013 remake and Evil Dead 2. There's so much gore and even more child endangerment. Also, there's a nod to The Shining that had me applauding in my seat. Don't miss it. And I think that's going to be, they've shown it in the trailer, but there's like a blood elevator thing like in The Shining in this movie. So the Evil Dead Twitter account has posted a little reel.
What's up, South by Southwest?
We're here at South by Southwest special screening for Evil Dead Rise.
I asked my mother, what will I be? really want the fans of the new Evil Dead Rise to be terrified.
The future's not ours to see.
The cheese grater in the movie plays one of the more visceral horror moments I think you ever might have seen.
It's a black comedy on acid. Are you ready or are you not?
South by Southwest, Evil Dead Rise.
That's awesome. Man, what I would have given to be there. Literally, if I had been given some more notice and had the months of waiting to renew my passport and probably a lot more money in my bank account, I would have gone. I would have gone. I would have been there. I would have been in the front seat, guys. I would have been in the very front row and I would have seen Evil Dead Rise. But I didn't. So it looks like someone yelled, "This movie sucks," out during the movie, and then Bruce Campbell kicked him out. So there's a video, so let's watch that.
By the way, everybody, the Marauder, just so everybody knows.
We held the elevator scene over Lee's head to try and get the schedule.
The goddamn movie.
What's that?
This movie fucking sucks.
What?
He's storming out. He's storming like he's 7 years old.
I said.
He's gone. He's gone. He's gone. Everybody's gone.
Yeah, he's gone. I think someone got possessed during the movie. I think that's what happened. Yeah.
What are you doing here? Get the fuck out of here.
Keep Austin weird, right?
There was no alcohol involved in that whatsoever.
I don't get it. He waited all the way through the credits just to
Oh, that's great. I mean, that guy's an asshole. Just leave. Just leave if you don't like the movie. Just get up and leave. Don't stay through the Q&A. Anyways, people are stupid, but that's really funny. Oh, this is from Bruce Campbell. Authentic family recipe mom's linguine, freshly made by hand. Al Deadite perfection in 9 minutes. And it's a little cheese grater, and it looks like, I think it's supposed to be pasta, but I think it's like those stringy, it's like, usually it's like candy bacon. It's like it's the rainbow candy stuff, and it's got like the sour sugar all over it. I think it's that, but red, and it's supposed to look like blood and pasta. Oh, that's awesome. Jason Cows said, or Cause, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your last name, but he says, saw Evil Dead Rise, loved Evil Dead Rise. Holy shit, pure mayhem and madness. You are not ready. There is not a single bad Evil Dead movie. That's awesome. P.N. Emeroff, or Nemiroff, maybe? It's very early in the morning. I'm not awake enough to start pronouncing names yet. They say, love the added weight the focus on family motherhood brings to the scenario. And yup, this cast crushes. Alyssa Sutherland is a damn delight as Mama Deadite, and Lily Sullivan is a sheer force trying to protect her nieces. James P. Poole says, Evil Dead Rise is a worthy addition to the franchise. While other entries have my heart just a little more, the kills are gnarly. It spins a whole new lore for itself, and Lee Cronin brings his own sensibility. Pretty fun stuff. So the movie's on Letterboxd. I guess people have been rating it as well, and it's got an average of 3.5, which is pretty good. That's like pretty much the halfway mark, and I'm sure as more people see it, it'll go up. I think this screening was probably pretty tough to get into. I think I saw a tweet where like the line was wrapped around the block or something to get in, so that'll be awesome. It's Chris Aguilar says Evil Dead Rise is everything you could ask for in a horror movie. Gnarly violence, nonstop terror, and especially for fans of the series, it delivers buckets of style and dark humor. Cronin has crafted some of the most intense and claustrophobic set pieces I've seen this year. And then I'm going through the Sam Raimi updates account right now, so someone took a picture of Sam Raimi at the screening and tagged Sam Raimi updates and said, if you're curious, lol. And I love that. Ryan Rank says Evil Dead Rise from Cure Lee Cronin blew my mind. It has the classic Evil Dead feel, yet it's new and fresh in its own way. Groovy gore, engaging characters, and many grosso moments. With a quick 98-minute runtime, this movie never bores. The Adam Review says Evil Dead Rise, beyond terrifying and surprising. A very violent horror pick that keeps you on the edge of your seat and beats you off. What? This isn't just another scary movie. It's one of the best films ever. Wow. A fitting end to her journey while also setting up what's next. That's pretty cool. Looks like there was also some merchandise given out besides the pasta and the little cheese grater. Looks like there's a really awesome poster where the high-rise is replaced with a cheese grater. I gotta get my hands on one of those. I will be scouring eBay today. I will be scouring eBay. Oh My Mathandier says Evil Dead Rise is a fucking disgusting, brutal, bloody, scary as all hell, an absolute blast of an addition to an already stacked franchise. Lee Cronin kicked this film's teeth in. Big Tuna on Film says, Evil Dead Rise is about as terrifying and distressing as you'd hoped. I do wish the motherhood stuff had been a bit better developed, but I found myself enormously satisfied with the film's brand of carnage. P. Nemiroff, again, says, Evil Dead Rise is as gnarly and wild as every Evil Dead film and show. Ooh, that means it's gonna be like Ash vs. Evil Dead. That's exciting. Should be. There's no limits when working with Deadites. Lee Cronin knows it and runs with it to great effect, both when it comes to delivering deeply chilling horror and also blood-soaked good time. All the reviews are just so good. They're so awesome so far. There's like a ton of reviews on Sam Raimi updates. There's a lot on here today, which is good. Congratulations, Sam Raimi updates, on the biggest day for you. Oh, look, here's Bruce Campbell talking about the current state of the horror genre. I'll share that with you guys.
How do you feel about this kind of dramatic edge that horror has taken?
Every horror movie is different. I'm just glad we're past torture porn.
Oh, you and me
Putting
both.
a guy's dick in a vice for 30 minutes, poking it with a stick, that's not really filmmaking to me.
Right.
Where's the suspense? Where's the jump scares? Right? Where is that? Where is that? That takes a skill between actor, filmmaker, and director to create mood, tension, and it's too easy of an out. So I'm glad that the torture porn phase, that whole hostile business, rearview mirror. It's time. And look, horror movies have gone through all kinds of phases. I don't know where they are. I couldn't even tell.
Yeah, there's a lot of blood. Wonderful stuff. We're so excited to have you
Elevated
here.
horror, I guess.
Elevated horror. Very A24.
How would you define elevated horror?
Did you see Midsommar?
No.
Sticky blood. There's no water.
Kind of going back to your question, my colleague's question here, working through the trauma and moving away from the blood and guts that we love so much that you're an expert in, and into the cerebral,
Come on, just
the
cut
mind
their fucking head off.
Thank
Get
you.
with the program.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a wonderful fest.
Thank you, but why though? But why though? But
He's such a funny guy. Like, jump scares! Of course he did that. That's crazy. Oh, look, here's like a ticket stub thing. Evil Dead Rise, doors open at 8:30 p.m. Your general open seating ticket is guaranteed between 8:30 and 8:45. Please arrive before 8:45. After this time, seating is available on a first-come, first-served basis and not a guaranteed. So I think it's probably like a concert type thing where you wait in line, and then probably a little bit before the doors open, they give you sort of a ticket thing that has like what number you are in line so that you make sure you get a good seat. There's some photos from like the South by Southwest carpet. So there's our Evil Dead team. They all look wonderful. Alyssa Sutherland, and then there's like sort of the new Evil Dead Rise crew, and then Lily Sullivan. They look awesome. Oh man, this movie's real and it's out there in the world. That's crazy. Look, Fandango says, Sam Raimi calls Evil Dead Rise an endurance test in horror and reveals why the series has endured for all these years. The horror sequel premieres tonight, blah, 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 blah. Let's watch this. I need to know what Sam Raimi is going to say.
The fans are very aware of the old craft of campfire ghost stories being told, and that's what we try and do. We also try and leave a lot of room for audience's imagination so that they can supply essential ingredients in building, horrors that we're trying to portray on the screen. And I think that room that we leave the audience suggesting things so often, we show them a lot too, but we suggest a lot and let them build a lot of the terror in their mind, and I think that's what keeps them coming back for more.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be all for this morning. The Evil Dead Rise reviews are out there. This was just sort of my experience looking at the reviews and reading them and stuff, so definitely go do your own sort of deep dive into what the film's reviews were like last night and stuff. Yeah, thanks for coming along on this virtual, not a ticket holder South by Southwest journey with me the past 24 hours. I had a lot of fun doing it, and I will definitely be back this week with more Evil Dead Rise stuff to talk about, probably, because that's really only what I talk about on this channel now. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. If you're just starting your day like I am, literally, And I will see you in the next video. Hello and welcome back to Hail to the Deadites. I didn't expect to be recording another video today, but here we are, because there was some more South by Southwest news, and I thought I would get it out there while it's still not trivial, but hot news. Because that's what you're here for. You're here for hot news on the Evil Dead movies. Not hot news about the Evil Dead movie. My collector's edition of the Evil Dead The Game vinyl arrived, so I thought I would do a little unboxing to start this. I don't know how to open this. I don't even have a record player. I don't know how opening this works. Oh, it just folded out. Okay, well, it just folds out. Cool. Ooh, this packaging is so pretty. So this is the back. It's got all the tracks on it and then all the companies who own Evil Dead stuff on the bottom. And then the cover art. Beautiful. My ring light's getting in the way, but anyways, let's open this bad boy up and see what's inside. I hope there's some surprises in here. I love when I open up stuff and it's got other stuff inside. Okay, let's see what the vinyl looks like, actually. I'm probably manhandling these. They're wrapped in plastic, though. Or no, this isn't wrapped in plastic. Okay, well, I'm just holding it then. Oh my god. Okay, this is beautiful. I think it does have like a plastic, I don't think it has a plastic protector on it. Evil Dead the Game, one side, and then the other side. It's a record. I love I think this is the first time I've ever held a vinyl record as well. And I have the Sparks ones behind me, but I haven't taken them out of their things. So I've never actually held one. I didn't realize they were this thick. So yeah, that's really cool. I can't wait to put this on display behind me. Okay, so South by Southwest news. So the premiere was last night, obviously, and then I recapped a lot of the reviews I'd seen this morning, and then of course new reviews kept rolling in all day about the movie because some people waited until the morning, which is understandable. But remember in the video where I talked about the scheduling for the Evil Dead Rise stuff, and there was an online event, and I wasn't too sure what it was, and there was no synopsis or anything? I think I mentioned it in the last video, but it was a video on YouTube. It was a live stream on YouTube with Sam, Lee, Bruce, Rob, Alyssa, and Lily all being interviewed. So I watched that live and I took a couple notes. So I thought I would share them with you and sort of recap it if you don't want to sit through the whole interview, but it's really good and you should. So right off the bat, they said the premiere felt like a rock concert and it was like a communal experience of horror, lots of audience reactions and stuff, not counting the guy that heckled afterwards. There was a really funny bit where the interviewer called Sam like an OG, as in like an original in terms of like being a horror director, and Bruce thought he meant like old guy or old geezer. So there's a really funny bit there. They said the movie is sad and richer. It's got new directions, but all of it is done with heart. Lee Cronin told a story where he attempted like the original Evil Dead like 2x4 camera mount thing as a kid and ended up breaking his video camera. We got some exciting news that the movie starts off with a cabin in the woods. So I cannot wait to see how that plays out. I think we've seen clips of that in the trailer, sort of that lake house. I thought that was going to be like flashback scenes. Maybe it'll open with a flashback. I don't really know, but that'll be cool. The movie is very family oriented and intimate. There's really big themes of motherhood and stuff. They said it's a refreshing twist. The moderator said that Lily inherits the boomstick, and I don't know if he meant this like literally or metaphorically. The interviewer had seen the new movie, so I don't know if he meant that like Bruce in the movie gives her the boomstick, or she gets it like metaphorically, like a passing of the torch, because now she's the lead of the new movie. So I guess we'll find out next month what that meant. Both Alyssa and Lily talked about how this movie had really physically demanding roles and they had to train for it. The interviewer said it was like a theater piece. It was like a very ensemble piece and very claustrophobic. It was a very like small, compacted set. It's a very intense film from what they've said. And sort of the hallway sequence is its own thing. They said that Ellie is either the best or the worst mother, depending on, I guess, what state she's in. There's going to be a really cool full body shot of Ellie doing something physically crazy. And they said a lot of her performance is reminiscent of silent film stars because she works so much with expressions and movement. The intensity of the film is going to be matched by Ellie's de-evolution, sort of turning into a Deadite from being a human. And Alyssa Sutherland said she did a lot of movement and dance to sort of learn how to act as Deadite Ellie. It was built from a sense of movement. That scene where she crawls out of the bathtub, Alyssa told a story how she fell off her bed practicing how she was going to do that and ended up giving herself carpet burn on her face the first week of shooting. They asked Bruce a couple questions about playing Ash, and Rob Tapert said that he was quoting something that Bruce had said in another interview earlier that day, where there was an echo of Evil Dead in anything he did after that. And I think that's so true, and was just sort of talking about how that's going to become true for both Alyssa and Lily after these movies, because I guess their performances are total knockouts and I cannot wait to see them. Rob Tapert also said that like a guiding force led him to meet Sam and Bruce and begin their like professional and relationships and friendships together, and I thought that was really nice. The panel sort of wraps up with Sam Raimi using a very comedic but also heartwarming metaphor about like plumbing and plumbers to talk about how they chose Lee for the job of directing the new movie and stuff, and it was really nice. So you should definitely go check the panel out because there's probably stuff I didn't mention, but it's worth watching. There's also a video out now. If you go to our Evil Dead Rise playlist, you'll find it there, but someone filmed the intro of the premiere last night. So it's the MC introducing the film to the audience and then brings out Lee and then brings out Alyssa and Lily to introduce the film. There's nothing really about the film in the video. It's really awesome to hear the crowd's reaction though. And then someone also uploaded a little bit from the panel that they did at South by Southwest yesterday. I didn't get a chance to check that out yet, because I had work and a life outside of Evil Dead, surprisingly, so I didn't get a chance to watch that yet, but I would definitely recommend checking it out. It's probably fun to watch. I haven't really been on Twitter a whole lot today to sort of see what's been being said. From what I saw today, it looks like the official Evil Dead account is sort of gathering tweets for maybe like a new trailer with a bunch of press quotes, because they were tagging a bunch of people and asking them to fill like a consent form to use their tweets about the movie. Probably a new trailer soon, hopefully. I'll end this video on a little bit of a high note. It's really cool to see my favorite films, like, new franchise entry being, like, this talked about online, and seeing, like, major news outlets and, like, media companies doing reviews on it. And it's so crazy and so special that I also get to be a part in covering this movie in a sense by doing these videos and even sharing stuff and interacting online about it. Like, I still haven't seen it yet. I want to see it so badly, but I feel like I'm still a part of the conversation talking about the movie because I'm recapping all this stuff. Anyways, I just think it's really cool that all this is happening right now, and I have this platform to be able to talk about it and share with you guys that are also really big Evil Dead fans that might not be totally aware of all the different stuff going on in terms of the movie. So I'm really glad I get to share it with you all. So thank you so much for watching. I'm pretty sure this is going to be the last South by Southwest coverage video. I know I said that this morning in the video, but I think this is going to be the last one because there's no more Evil Dead stuff after today. So once again, thank you for coming along on this press coverage from my bedroom. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and stay groovy.
The jump scares.